and all this freedom, fucking, I've just gone round and I've been, do you know what I mean? I can get everything in there, fucking. Even my probation said to me, he said, right, if you do 8 months here, I recommend release. I lasted 4.
Gangster.
You know what I mean? Like, idiot.
No, but listen, at least you recognise you as an idiot. That's the thing. It's all right doing things and going away, but at least if you can come away like Charlie is now, and he can look back and call himself an idiot, then as far as I'm concerned, he's learned his lesson. That's the game.
Mate, from there, they fucking ghosted me to Challenge Wood.
Okay, so let's hold it. I'm a little bit confused with the Vern. So you went to the Vern. I always thought the Vern was a sea cat, crash as your father, and I always thought the Vern was a normal
immigration. Well, it was, when I was there, it was half immigration.
Okay, you do look like a foreigner. You do.
Polish. It was a mad jail. It was a mad jail when I got there. And
why? Tell me. Educate.
Just like how free you was. You got to remember, I'm used to 24-hour lockdown. All of a sudden, fuck, I don't know what to do myself. My door's open 24/7.
Yeah.
It just went to my head. I was running around like a loony, getting pissed up, and you can imagine.
I can't even wait for you to tell me.
Drinking, smoking, just fucking getting into trouble, selling puff, selling porn. I was selling porn.
And was you?
Yeah, I was selling porn.
Where'd you get the porn from?
Well, basically, my mate he had blank discs,
So
and there was a DVD rewriter. It's just who you know, isn't it? It was a good jail. It was a good jail. But yeah, fucking, they ended up ghosting me to Challenge Wood from there.
Right. Okay. So you go to the Vern to Challenge Wood. And what was the difference between the Vern and Challenge Wood?
Well, back to lockdown.
Was it? What's Challenge Wood like? It?
Fucking shit.
Where is it?
Near Plymouth.
Okay.
Near it's like the next jail from Dartmoor. It's Dartmoor, Exeter.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Sort of that way down there.
And what's it like?
Fucking. So it wasn't a bad jail. If it was closer to London, it would have been perfect. But it wasn't. You know what
I always find when you go to jails in the sticks, a different game.
It's like they're 10 years behind.
It's not. Yes, they might be but the violence is different, and the kicking off is different, and the hurting is. They're mad nutters. I mean, Lewis, I'm dealing with something now, but even it's just mad. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love thriving it, but it is mad. They are absolute loons. So go on, Charlie. Challenge Wood.
Yeah, so Challenge Wood. So Challenge Wood had a therapy. So when I got there, I thought, right, this is my opportunity to fucking smash out a bit of therapy.
Charlie. Right, therapy.
Yeah, I'd never been recommended it, but I thought, do you know what, right, this will get me out.
Yeah.
People were telling me on the wing, IPPs, go do therapy, get you out. So I've gone over there and it fucking opened like a whole new can of worms, because fucking things that hadn't been brought up about me started to like. Right, when I went on this therapy, right, I thought it was like a fucking holiday camp. I thought it was a holiday.
Yeah.
And I treated it like it was a joke. And I fucked about, and I was people's scapegoat. They just blamed me for everything. And I ended up getting kicked off that. And it was through getting kicked off that they started to say, right, we need to do some assessments now.
When you just said a very important part, when you just said you thought therapy was a joke, but you actually said it was getting to you. Was it actually working? Did it open old wounds, old scars?
No, not really.
No?
Because therapy was just messed up, and I wasn't ready for it, I suppose. I mean, I'm not ready for it because I'd never done anything after that, so that was intense like that. But I shouldn't have been on it. I shouldn't have been put onto therapy. I probably didn't fit the criteria. But
so but you just said that you put yourself on, did you?
Yeah, it was like a self-referral.
Yeah, and
obviously because I've done 6 months on it, they have to write a report. And that report,
would mess you up, Charlie.
Yeah, they were saying things like, we can't ever see this guy getting out and all this.
No,
when I read it, I kind of thought, what? How are they perceiving me like this? Yeah, I like a laugh and a joke, but fuck me, like they're going on like I'm some fucking like risk, like. Yeah, and it just went a little bit downhill from there with all these assessments. And then next thing you know, I'm in Elstock doing the SCP. Which is where I met you again.
Wait a minute, stop. Did they think you were Silence of the Lambs, Charlie?
Mate, I don't know what they thought.
Go on, Charlie.
But I was just trying to explain to them, look, like, I'm a different person now. Everything that was important to me when I was a kid isn't now. Like, I don't care about going out and fighting. Like, I've got nothing to prove to no one no more. Been there, done that. But they weren't having it, mate. They just weren't having it. They were just like, you're...
Were they using all the things that you got nicked for against you? Is that what you're saying? Is that what?
Yeah, they were like, how can we trust you?
Okay, yeah.
And I wasn't exactly building trust.
Right.
So every time I get close to achieving something will fucking happen. You know what I mean? Like, I'd do a year with no nickings, just about 2 weeks before pro, fucking something would happen. It's like you've never been in a situation before until it's so testing until just before pro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where someone it's just like, mate, like, and to get frustrated, mate. Just frustrated. Yeah. That's what it was, frustration.
Well, that's the problem with an IPP. If you're not in the game and you haven't come up through the ranks, what happens is you don't really know how to deal with an IPP sentence, and because of that, it starts to do your nutting, and so you get a lot of self-harm. You get a lot of people hurting other things, doing silly things, and a lot of IPPs, you know, if you speak to them now, they always say they don't want to go home because there's nothing out there for them. And so it is a very difficult sentence to get your head around. I think it's important also to note that the IPP sentence called indeterminate public protection has been abolished now. But there are still over 4,000, is it, Charlie?
Yeah.
Could be higher because, you know, we don't know.
Still a lot of people still serving.
Yeah, prisoners still serving, still making the mistakes, but they're still holding those mistakes against them. And it's really an unjust sentence. It's been proved that in the European High Courts. And yet people still... So we will be dealing with that properly and trying to get, you know, the public's attention brought towards that. So, Charlie... Anyway, let's move Crassy as your father. I met you in
Elstow.
Yeah,
back again. Yeah, we reunited.
So we're in Elstow. Now, Elstow, I got sent to Elstow to do a CSCP, which was the armed robbers course. Okay.
Which is why I went there to do SCP. So it was instrumental violence, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't think you was.
No, it's but it was violence, wasn't it? So remember, I done it with Darren. Remember?
Oh yeah, yes. No, because I got there and they told me I didn't have to do it. So.
Mel.
Mel.
Not hard enough.
Super Mel. No. But anyway, Crash has your father. So you got there, and I remember when you got there, we had a good laugh in there. But Charlie, when you got there, yeah, Crash has your father. What did you think of Elstow? Well, you know, you got
it was a good jail.
We was on Silcock, weren't we?
Silbury. Yeah. Well, fuck it. I get there. It's the first time I've ever had a shower in myself. I was like,
yeah, I know, man.
6 plug sockets. I'm like, fucking like. I could have a shit and wash my feet at the same time. I'm like, I don't know, it was good. We had a laugh there, man. There was a good bunch of boys on the wing. Yeah, I enjoyed it there.
And so what about the courses and everything there? I mean, you know, you and Darren, as you said, done it. How was it?
The courses, mate, they're political, man. We kind of fought against it at first a little bit.
Did you?
You know what I mean? And
why Darren? Explain.
I don't know, man. Like.
Is it because you had done so many in the past and then you'd suddenly...
Yeah, I just thought we keep going over the set.
Yeah.
Right, the thing with SCP, right, is it's not a course where you're sitting there learning things. Each session, it will be someone getting up and presenting one of their cases to the class. So it's a bit like show-off time.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, explain it.
So basically, you'll dissect the crime that you've been convicted from. So you'll put the trigger up, what your thoughts were, what your feelings were, what you've done, and the reason why you've done it, which is called a learned behaviour. So a learned behaviour could be something like, if you disrespect me, I'll show you can't do that by using violence against you. Yeah. It's something that is in you, you live by, you know. And so basically you dissect your crime and you talk about it, and everyone's just sitting there boasting, yeah, I've done this, I felt, you know what I mean? And people that weren't clued up, I felt like the facilitators were putting words into their mouths. And I used to pull them. I'd be like, no, but he didn't say that. You've just said that, and then because he's agreed, you've put it up. And they didn't like that because I was clever.
Yeah, so you educate. Yeah,
so,
they don't.
And I used to battle with them all the time. Yeah. And they didn't really like me. Hence why I had a bit of trouble on the courses.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, right, let's do this assessment on him now.
So did you finish the SCP?
Yeah, I completed it.
And what did you, so you finished it, and then did you stay at Silbury? Did you go?
No, I went to an enhanced wing. And there's no bang up on the enhanced wing.
Where's the enhanced wing, Charlie?
Remember Serum, Kent?
Okay,
Imber?
yeah.
Them,
Alright.
what was the old lifer one? Next to Mulborough.
Remember the ones with the doors, the wooden doors, they would just kick them off and
Yeah. Mad, man.
Off there,
Mad. It was good.
Off
Elstock
there,
was alright.
Yeah, it was alright. Funny thing about Elstock was I noticed with a lot of black fellas from London. I know a lot of black fellas from London when they used to go out to in the sticks, they would always be frightened or shocked because they're out of their manner, they're on their own, do you know what I mean? But mate, I listen, no matter where I went, no matter, mate, if it's on, it's on. It's off. That was always me. So I got on with everybody, you know what I'm saying? But it can be, when you go a long way from home, I know it's a lot of people, whites and black, when they're away from their own manner, they do allow a little bit shook, you know what I mean? So Charlie, you do the courses, you're in Elstock. Now, did you get released from Elstock?
No, I'm not.
Okay, right. So where'd you go next?
I went to Portland.
Portland? You know, and I thought Portland was
YO.
Yeah, YO.
Well, yes, it is, it's half YO.
Oh, it's half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Fucking, that's a mental gaff that is.
It? What's mental about it?
Just like, the screws and that in there, like, in the morning, like, you can see them in the morning, like, right, who are we going to bend up to there and all that stuff.
Okay.
Off, like, you're not here to bend people up, you know what I mean? You're here to fucking do a job.
Yeah.
Like, and bullies.
But I think with Portland, what you have to remember, Portland is a white sea jail, so you've always got to remember, they got to have hard screws and tough screws. And and their screws are ready for it. And you know, you got Aylesbury, you got Feltham, mate, when it kicks off, it can kick off.
Because Portland, it's like all the screws are old school, like ex-army, ex-rugby, like it used to be. Like now you got a fucking 21-year-old on the wing.
From Tesco.
Mate, how old was you when I went jail? Like, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just...
So go on, what happened in Portland? What did you go to Portland for? What did you do? Did you get in fights? Did you get in trouble?
Nah, I did actually. I got into a couple of fights in Portland.
Why?
With YOs, they're just leapy.
There you go, see? Thank you,
mate.
Crash.
I used to give them the stare, like, half the time.
The eye stare.
Yeah, I used to give them the stare, like, because obviously I was known in there. I'm the only one doing 99 years in fucking jail. Everyone knew me in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So everyone, I was kind of left alone a little bit. But, I did have a couple of altercations that I did sort out and got the better of people.
Why did you get sent from Elstock to Portland?
Because they had intelligence that I was jumping out of the window at night and getting parcels.
You couldn't run out. He's in prison. And he's jumping out of windows. Where's the boss? Charlie, stop.
I think it
Charlie, stop. Are you telling me there's no bars on the windows?
No, we bent the bar back. I mean, the bar was bent back.
Was it? Charlie!
Someone bent the bar back.
And you bent the bar and you managed to get through the bar?
No, I couldn't squeeze through there.
Oh, God.
I'm not guilty.
He's just bad as the other Charlie. So anyway, Crash, how's your father? You're in Portland.
No, I'll tell you the truth, right? Yeah, I was getting out the window, yeah. It was funny, yeah, because there was like a little thing you had to jump over about that eye, and every time I should do it, I had to click my heels together and make the whole wing laugh. Like, fucking, what's this geezer on, mate? I'm running around the wing at night, you know what I mean?
No, but that was what Bird's about, innit? Like, Bird was about that for us because, like I said, we always just made joke out of Bird. That's it.
What's the laugh or you cry, didn't you?
Yeah. And you're doing 99 years. There's no point fighting it. You might as well crack on and enjoy it, do you know what I mean? That's how we are, do you know what I'm saying? Okay, so Crash, so you go to Portland, you do, where from Portland?
Right, so Portland, I got my DCAT.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so I went to Honsley Bay.
Okay,
What was
Honsley Bay like then? Because remember, let me just take you back. When you said you went to the Verne, you hadn't had so much freedom. You said that Crash, you couldn't handle it. So now you're going to DCAT, which provides just as much freedom as the Verne. Yeah, hit me.
Right, it's a DCAT, right? So I was excited to get there. Got there, and the #1 governor's met me, and he's like, "Right, I've been reading your paperwork all day." He's like, "If this would have been faxed to me, I wouldn't have accepted you." And I'm like, "What?" And then he's like, "Right, if you're thinking of doing a runner from here, we'll have a national manhunt now." And I'm like, "Fuck, I don't even want to fucking be here." Like, just landed here and you're fucking making all these threats. I was like, "Fuck!" I'm ringing people up saying, "Come pick me up."
Oh, yeah, Charlie. Even though he's giving the warning, Charlie.
Yeah, they're like, "Nah, fuck off." Do you know what I mean?
What, Charlie? Even though he's giving the warning, you're still.
Yeah, I had mates coming to visit me and that, and I was like, "Look, come back here in 10 minutes and I'll be here." They're like, nah, fuck that.
Well, at least your mates cared for you.
Yeah, yeah.
But then again, they must have also thought about the 5 years you get out when you escaped.
Well, yeah,
Or was it
I
10?
just wanted to bunk up, mate. You know what I mean?
How
Like,
did you, Charlie?
fucking roasted, man. By then, I'd done about 10 years, do you know what I mean? So I'm like,
Sorry?
I've done about 10 years by
Yeah,
the time I was
yeah,
in DCAT. So yeah, I was in DCAT for 3 months.
Is it? Wow.
I got caught with fucking £100 worth of curry.
£100 worth of curry?
Yeah,
Sorry. What do you mean?
Fucking hell. Right, so when I was in DCAT,
hold on. You're not making Vindaloo.
No. Right, so when I was in DCAT, right, I had a few mates in there that were established that were going out every weekend. So we had this thing where they'd go out, they'd come back early, come to my cell, drop everything off, and then go and sign in. So fucking one day, my mates come and met me. He's fucking gave me this massive. No, he gave me 2 fucking holdalls. Yeah. So I picked them up. I've run around the back of the wing and I've run straight into a screw. So I'm like, oh fucking hell. So he's made me pick them up and take them to the thing, and I got to smell the curry.
Yeah, oh, you did?
Yeah, I got to smell the curry. It smelled nice. But like my mate had put fucking, he'd wrapped a load of protein right in like a clean film wrap.
Yeah, because they all want
the. As they're putting it out, they're going, this better not be drugs. And I'm thinking, it fucking better not be as well. Do you know what I mean? And do you know what I'd done as well? I had like 8 ounces of tobacco in it.
Yeah.
I nicked an ounce of tobacco out of the bag in their face and balls it off.
So in a way, he's right because you
got
don't.
a bit of it.
Did you?
I got an ounce of tobacco out of it.
Remember you heard it first. Remember when you saw it last. Yeah, go on, kid.
But yeah, fucking DCAT was sick, mate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so DCAT, got kicked out of DCAT.
Did you?
Well, I got caught within an hour of getting caught with that parcel.
Yeah.
I was in fucking Warren Hill.
Oh, you're in. Okay, what was Warren Hill at? Where's Warren Hill?
Warren Hill is next door to there, down like Norfolk way. Brilliant jail. I didn't want to leave there.
Why?
Because it was the first progressive regime for IPPs that have been kicked out of DCAT, so can go back to DCATs.
I don't know educating. Yeah.
Right, so a progressive regime is for all IPPs on lifers that have been kicked out of DCATs can't go back to a DCAT. So how can they prove themselves?
Okay.
So they go to a progressive regime where they're dealing with psychology and that, and helps them get out.
Okay.
So like last chance saloon for people that have absconded. So I've got there. A few of my mates are there. I want to stay in it. I want to stay. So they've come to me one day. They're like, right, Portland bus is here. I'm like, I ain't going. So they're like, all right, sweet. They took me TV, locked the door. I'm like, yeah, fuck off. You know what I mean? And they've come back. They're right, strip search again, block. So I've got like 14 lighters in my trousers. So I'm thinking, right, they can't put me on a bus with a lighter.
Oh yeah.
So
why have you got 14
lighters? Anyway, they've got.
Charlie, why have you got 14?
Because I know they can't put me on a sweatbox.
Okay,
I'm a fire risk. So they've got me in the block anyway, right? And I've still got one lighter on me. So I've ended up setting fire to their block and that, and fucking having murders, mate. Right, so anyway, I've been in the block a week, so they've come to me one day and said, right, you're going to Portland again. I'm like, I ain't going, mate. So it's like, right, so I walked to reception, fuck it. So I walked to reception, I've got razor blades in my mouth.
No.
So they're strip searching me.
Can you tell people why you got the razor blades?
Because if you swallow them, they can mess your insides out, and they won't. Most of the time, they don't ship you out. So I've got there, they're strip searching me now. I'm naked, so I've gone. And I've showed them the 2 razor blades on my tongue. Bro, they just grabbed me, started fucking me up on the floor and that, yeah? Right? So now, they couldn't get in my mouth out, yeah? They couldn't get in my mouth out.
Charlie? How many?
There's about 15 of them. So the governor's like, right, fuck it. The governor's like, no matter what, you get him on that fucking bus and you get him out.
No!
Yeah, I had an argument with him in adjudication.
Okay.
Right? And he was like, you are getting moving. I was like, I fucking ain't. He was like, you are.
I mean, now, sorry, Charlie, just cut you, yeah? That's quite unusual, because normally, when you got blood in your mouth, governors don't let you go because it's down to them.
He had ordered them, mate. Like no matter what, I've got the nickings now. You'll see it.
Yeah,
right? They say right. We was ordered by Governor so and so to put Southgate on that bus. Like, through no means, like fucking. No matter what we got to do, we got to get him on.
So they're protecting themselves.
So they've for 3 hours. This is going on for. They're trying to get me on this sweatbox. I'm singing to them as they're bending me up. There's something inside so strong. And fucking so they can't get the sweatbox door shut. Yeah. So the SO, he's just freaked out, mate. Punched me in my nose, fucking started slamming my legs in the door, like proper fucked me up. I'm fucked now in the sweatbox, like, do you know what I mean, on the chair, like half hanging out the door and that. So then all these gym screws will come over and they're like, well, you can't get him on that bus. They're like, nah. They're like, let's have a go. They're all sweating, they're all sweating. One of the screws was humming, there's something inside, in my ear, yeah, because he thought it was hilarious. So yeah, they couldn't get me on the sweatbox, right? So they fucking... I've still got the razor blades in my mouth. So they've dragged me back to the block, yeah? They've dragged me back to the block now, and so I'm thinking, I'm fucked, innit? I'm fucked. I'm limping. I said to the nurse while I was getting mashed up, I was like, help me, man. Like, come on, man.
What, was the nurse there as well, Charlie?
Yeah, there was a nurse there. Like, they fucking, you can see they're assaulting me, like, help me. So anyway, So I've landed in Portland, right, so they took me back to the block, right, and then my mate's shouting me, and he's like, bruv, they've got a transit van, and I'm like, oh, fuck, man. So they've come and rushed back in the cell, handcuffed me front position.
Yeah.
So as they're taking me over to this fucking transit van, I've made a last ditch effort, and I've managed to get my foot through the handcuff like that, yeah? Like, and they bent me up, and they've put me on the floor of this fucking transit van. They're all standing on me and that. And then like I realised, oh fucking hell, like no matter what I'm going now, innit? So I was like, come on boys, man, lit me up, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? As soon as they lit me up, I was just gonna smash the window with my fucking cuffs. And that would have been it. Then about to turn round, but yeah, they weren't having it. Yeah. When I got to Portland, I was fucked. So I put in a complaint, innit? I rang the police and everything. I said they've assaulted me. I said you've only got to check the CCTV. They're fucking me up.
Yeah.
It come back that all my injuries were prison technique, prison issue standard. Like basically, they were all these injuries. Like I had a fucking bruised rib, broke like big bruise on my nose. They took photos of everything. Oh, that prison officer can do that to you. Fuck, like, it was fucking liberty, bro. Like, I was fucking on crutches. I was fucked.
That's the game. Listen, that's what I tell people. Prison can fuck you up. If they want to kill you...
They didn't even investigate it.
If they want...
They only had to get the CCTV of reception. I've never seen them stamping on my head like... Mate.
If they want to kill you, they kill you. Yeah? That's why you listen to Ray Hill. Ray Hill's podcast, that's what he says.
I've been fucked up a few times.
Have you?
The Belmarsh, they fucked me up as well.
Did they? Tell me.
I was on a fucking visit, yeah, right?
Yeah, go.
As I'm going on a visit, right, they put me...
Can I just explain? You have to realise now, with Belmarsh, Belmarsh is an ACAT, so their screws are totally different. Like, you know, they don't take no shit. From the minute you're in reception, that's it. They're not taking no shit. Where in another net, you know, little shit and all that, and the screws, you can go down. Belmarsh, they're not that, so crack on.
Yeah, so I'll tell you the story from the beginning, right?
Yeah,
this is how it all happened in Belmarsh, right? So I was a cleaner on the wing. My mate's getting shipped out one morning, so and they're trying to ship him to a dispersal. He's only doing 8 years. So I was like, fuck that, bro. He's like, what should I do? I said, refuse it. So he's refused it, and so I'm out on social now, like I see all the screws lining up upstairs, about to go in on him. So I've shouted him up. I've gone back to my cell, shouted him up. I said, yo, they're about to come in on you. He's like, what should I do? I said, boil the kettle, innit? Don't throw it on them, but like have a standoff. And the screws heard me say that, so he's nicked me for fucking inciting. So they, just before I'm about to go on a visit, they've come to me and said, right, you're on basic. So I'm like, right, I've said, fuck, you're right, I'm gonna cause murders now when I get back on this wing. So I've gone on a visit and that, and they've come over to me half an hour to my visit and said, right, you're on basic.
Yeah. So
I'm saying to my pal, fuck this, should I just get bent up? He's like, no, fuck, no, don't. So I've gone back in, so they've ended my visit, so I've gone in the strip cell room. They're like, right, strip cell. I said, alright, sweet. He said, open your mouth. I opened my mouth. Bro, as soon as I opened my mouth, he took a swing at me. I'm lucky he couldn't fight this screw, yeah? Right? So he took a swing at me. I dodged it, yeah? Fucking like, they just bundled me into the corner and fucking fucked me up, bro. It's just like, you cunts, man. After I made that comment about the kettle and that was it. Yeah. Belmarsh screws turned their back on me. They were like,
Did they?
They were like, yeah, fuck you. Like, you tried to get one of us hot water. No, I didn't. I tried to clue my mate up to the stand off. And yeah, they fucked me over, mate, after that. Like, that was it, mate. Belmarsh was horrible after that.
Was it?
Then I started climbing up on heights and all that, you know what I mean?
What's climbing on heights mean? What does it mean?
I know that they've all got to go home at 8 o'clock, so if I climb up there at 7:45...
Up where? Charlie explained to the... Up where?
Up on wherever, as high as I can get.
No, but wait a minute, Charlie. We're in prison. You've got to explain to we're in prison. We've got different landings. They've got nettings, and so when you say climb onto the roof, what is it?
Well, yeah, climb on the netting. It's the highest I can get. The highest point of any wing that I can get up. Even if I have to hoist myself up, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'll do it because I know none of them cunts are going home at 8 o'clock.
Okay, yeah.
Fuck my day. I'll fuck you lot's day up, innit? Keep you here till 3 in the morning, you cunt.
And the next so Belmarsh, so you went to
Belmarsh. Where did I go from Belmarsh?
You've gone to Portland. Hang on, I'm up to date. It's okay. I'm up to date.
Portland. So I went to DCAT, went to Warren Hill, went back to Portland. Where did I go from Portland?
No, I went
from Portland to...
Well, wait a minute.
Coldenley.
Okay, let's just hold it. So you go from...
That's a little bit of Coldenley.
Just bear with me. So you go from Warren Hill back to Portland, and what happens in Portland when you return?
Well, obviously, I'm fuming, innit? I've been fucked up. I'm back in Portland, cold food. I'm not happy, mate.
Okay, so what was the episode?
Not happy,
Do you fight? Do you get into fights? Do you have them out to school?
No, I just had it with my probation officer, mate. Like, made her come all the way to Portland and then fucked her off. Didn't go.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I made trouble for 5 hours, you can't. You know what I mean? Fucking keep me in for 10 years. So yeah, I went anti then. I just said, nah, fuck you lot. I'm not doing no more. I'm
So-
not doing no more courses. I'm doing nothing. Like, I've given up.
So what
I'm
you've done?
staying.
So what you've done? You switched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was only when I gave up, then the cunts wanted to help me. But you can imagine it. The government's probably rung the prison and said, well, what's going on with these IPPs? You know, like, well, they've given up. What do you fucking mean they've given up? Like, and oh mate, and then I've never received so much help, and I didn't want it. I'm like, fuck off. I don't care no more. Like,
Okay,
oh,
so
mate.
you go from Warren Hill to Portland.
No, I went from
No,
Warren to
listen,
Portland.
listen, I've got you. Don't worry, I've got you.
Yeah,
I've got you. So Crash, how's your father? So now you go from Portland to where? Coldenley.
Coldenley, yeah.
Okay, so hit me. Let's go.
Yeah, I went to Portland to Coldenley. Didn't really know about the cells there because obviously there's no toilets in the cells. I've got Crohn's, so I needed a toilet.
Okay.
So they got me out of there, sent me to High Point. So when I get to High Point, none of my property's there.
Okay.
Wait, hang on a minute, man. So you're telling me 12 years of property has just gone missing? Nah. Fuck this, mate. So anyway, I got into the ombudsman. They gave me 500 quid.
Yeah. I follow you, yeah.
And
Yeah,
it didn't my spends.
Did you get 500 quid, Charlie?
Yeah, but
Can I try that next time?
where's my trainers? Where's my clubber? My electric toothbrush. Where's my fucking?
Did you ever get it back, Charlie?
No, I didn't. Mate.
So you're in Coldenley and any fights, any trouble?
Nah, Colin was alright.
Really?
Colin was alright, yeah. I knew a few people, Colin, from Swell side and that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's all the same faces, isn't it? Like the lifers and that going through the system.
Yeah.
Colin was alright. Colin was alright.
Coldenley was okay,
I
but
went to High Point. Shit,
okay.
oh mate.
Is it what? Now High Point is called Knife Point. For those of you who don't know. So go on, Crash. What happened?
Fucking shit, oh mate. So
Was it-
as soon as I got there, I wanted out of there.
Explain to me. Why is it shit, Charlie?
It's fucking shit. It's just full of fucking idiots. You know what I mean? It's a sea cat full of loads of London geezers.
Where is it, Charlie?
Gangsters.
Where is it?
Where is it? Fucking. Yeah, it's Norfolk, isn't it?
Mind you,
Norfolk.
it's got quite a reputation because they call it Knife Point, Charlie.
Yeah, but
so
it's-
is it not as bad as they say, Charlie?
It's like every other kind of. The worst sea cat I went to was Wayland, mate.
Is it,
Violence.
Charlie? Yeah, well that's a security jail, isn't it, Charlie?
Violence, mate.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Was it, Charlie?
Bruv, people are getting fucking Section 18s over cans of tuna. It's like, what?
Really,
You
Charlie?
know some of the can of tuna they've done that to you? Fucking hell, man. People, I'm telling you,
How
Section
long-
18s every weekend.
You're jumping the gun now, so you're in
That's right.
Coldenley.
Yeah.
So when did you go to Wayland?
Right, so I went from Coldenley to High Point, and then I went from High Point to Wayland.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now let's just get this right. Wayland's a security jail for those of you in the game. So now, Crash, how's your fault? Why did they send you Wayland?
Why did I get moved to Wayland? Oh, to do a course. What did they want me to do?
Okay.
They wanted me to do the
Well, you've done CSCP and
what is it
LSCO.
called? What it's I think it's a progressive regime or something. It's called.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Is it a progressive regime?
What's
They wanted me to do a course.
was
there
progressive regime a course, Charlie? Because
It's a wing that you live on, and you like show.
Okay.
They get to know you in it, and you show your behaviour.
Well,
and
why
that,
didn't
and
they just send you back to Portland? They knew you.
I didn't want to go back to Portland.
Okay.
Like, I think, like, no matter what jail you're in, it's shit. Like, you think, yeah, you hear me say, yeah, that jail was alright, but it wasn't. It was
Yeah,
shit when you're in there. It's
Well,
shit,
for me,
man.
I just crack on. I don't give a fuck. Jail's jail. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do it again. It's not an issue. You know, for me, I march. It's have a laugh and joke. If you're going to do bird, yeah, you might as well I can have a laugh and crack. Otherwise, I can't see the point.
Yeah, that's
See what I
right,
mean?
you're right.
So anyway, you get to Portland. You get to Wayland. It's a security jail. Did you like it there? Or was it shit? Was it shit?
Shit there, mate. Shit there.
What is
It's lockdown, mate. Lockdown.
Is it, Charlie? That's what
mate.
everyone says,
So
Charlie.
fucking, so I got caught with a phone, right? They've run up on me in there, and security, and I've gone off on the wand, innit?
Yeah.
So like, hand the phone over, like, you won't get nicked in that. I'm like, oh, fuck that, man. I said, it must be a bit of pie dish later or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
setting off the wand. They weren't having it. They kept me down the block for the whole 48 days.
Did they, Charlie?
Yeah, I'd done Christmas down there. They got me out. We had Christmas dinner around the table.
Yeah.
And fucking yeah, down
I
around
used to
the
look after you
table.
for Christmas, Charlie.
Because I wasn't a cunt. So was,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? So yeah, and then they swagged me to Stockholm.
Oh, Stockholm in Leicester, gangster. Top jail, Charlie.
Fuck, another security jail. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You get there, you're walking around poles and all sorts of shit, man.
What do you mean poles, Charlie?
Like they've got these new poles that a SIM card will go off. Like,
Oh,
a bit of
really?
foil will go off.
Oh, have they, yeah?
Yeah,
Ah.
mate.
Technology's getting up to date.
But
now,
I got
Crash.
released from Stockholm. I
Did ya?
ended up getting my nut down in Stockholm and
Did ya?
proved to them that I could do a year without nickings.
Really? You done a whole year without nicking?
I've done a whole year.
They broke him. Crash. What, Charlie?
Just didn't have no altercation. Had a good year, didn't it? Had a good year.
So anyway, so you ended up in Stockholm, and where from Stockholm?
I got released.
So from
Pipe unit in York.
Sorry?
Pipe unit in York.
Is it? Pipe unit?
Yeah, fucking pipe unit.
What the hell's that?
Oh, mate.
Charlie, educate.
I was in a hostel where every morning they're like, "Are you okay? Everything okay? Are you sure everything's okay? Everything's okay. Like, just fucking leave me alone, innit? Like, you've got a group at 3. Is everything okay? As soon as you walk in the group, it's like, "Are you okay? How you feeling today?" Like, I'm fine, man. I don't need this fucking. Do you know what I mean? Just let me live. I'm out now. Like, everything okay? No. Like, even if everything wasn't okay, what the fuck are you gonna do? Nothing. Like,
Charlie.
Stitch up.
So you get out. Have you got your bags with you when you're leaving and everything?
Yeah. So I got out the gate, right, and I thought,
Charlie.
right, my mum and that weren't there yet, so I thought, right, just in case they made a mistake, I'm getting the fucking farthest away I can from this fucking gate. Yeah, and if they call me, I'm just running through any field. Like, do you know what I mean? There's no, they couldn't do that though. They couldn't start let me outside and say, "Oh, hang on a minute, we've made a mistake." Fuck off, like, fucking what? No. I've been looking forward to this fucking day for months. Like, there's no way. I sang all the way there as well. Easy, all the way to reception. The screws were like, "What was easy?" I said, 14 years. I said, "Shit, it, mate." Do you know what I mean? Fuck a minute. I just wanted to let them know that you can't defeat me, no matter what you've done. Yeah. You did not change me. I might have learned patience. That's the only thing I did learn in prison was patience.
Is it, Charlie?
You didn't really defeat me. You didn't get the better of me.
That's right.
You didn't hear me scream when you beat me.
That was the same with me, with my IPP. I knew, because I got nicked with a police gun, and that's what they were waiting for me to use the phone for my contacts. But I never used.
Didn't know, didn't you?
No,
you never used
I never used the phone in 10.5 years. But what it was, like I said before, because I knew what they wanted, even though I've done 10.5 years, it really felt like only 5.5 years, because I was taking on the system, if you know what I mean. So Crash How's Your Father, when they did actually get the parole to release me, I got their psychologist to do it, because if you get your own, they can go against him, yeah? So I got their psychologist to do it, but he agreed for my release. But they were saying to him, because he didn't know what they want, but I did, they were saying to him, "Is there nothing else Mr. Fish can do?" And so Crash How's Your Father, he's saying to them, "Well, what, do you want to institutionalise him? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that?" But really, see, like people like me and Charlie, there's a little trick going on here between the parole board, the criminal justice system, and the psychologist. Because you see, if they think they haven't got enough on you, yeah, or you can do this and that, what they do, they let the psychologist free you, so that if it all goes wrong, they can blame the psychologist and not the parole board. So, you know what I mean? There's a catch-22.
Well, just a quick story about, right, so just before my parole, right, my solicitor said, right, we're going to get an independent psychologist assessment done, because it might help us.
Okay.
So for about a month before the parole hearing, I've gone out to see my solicitor, and I said, like, "What was the results back from that?" She's like, "Well, actually, I don't want to talk about it." I was like, "What?" She's like, "Well, we're not going to use their recommendation." I was like, "What they recommended?" She's like, "They've recommended like the dangerous split personality disorder thing."
No.
I was like, "Fuck that." I was like, we tried to do this to help me, like. So when we went on a parole hearing, they're like, "Right, we're going to adjourn it for a full psychological assessment." Yeah, so my solicitor's like, so I'm like, "Right, if we continue it today, what's the outcome?" And, oh mate,
that's why I said use theirs.
Yeah, don't try and get one done yourself. Like,
use theirs, at least then.
Backfire, you know what I mean? Big time.
Crash!
He's like, "Yeah, we won't be using that."
Oh, so Charlie, I've got to ask a question. You've done 14 years, started from 2.5, and let me ask you, Charlie. So in all that time, what about family, Charlie?
My family are everything to me.
Did you miss your family? Wait a minute, let me finish. Did you miss your family? Did they support you all the way through it, Charlie?
Yeah. My mum is the only reason why I'm still here.
Were they hurt? Was she hurt? Were your family, because you kept getting knocked back and they thought you were messing it about?
Yeah.
Go on, Charlie.
That was the hardest thing. Although I'd given up, I could never tell my family that, you know, that I'd given up because it wasn't fair on them. And that was the only reason why I kind of knuckled down and got out in the end was for them. You know, I could do the bird all day long. You know what I mean? Like 30-year sentence, don't scare me. And I could easily do it, but it's the effects it has on them.
Yes, Charlie, well done, kid.
Watching my sister cry after visits.
Well
I hated visits. Like watching my mum and I get upset and I visit. Like, as much as I loved being on a visit because it was escapism, leaving them was the hardest thing.
Charlie? Did it hurt, Charlie?
Yeah, it hurt. It was horrible. Watching my mum walk away in tears, it's not a nice thing. You know, and that was the main reason why I knuckled down and got out in the end was for her.
And I hope people watching this, as I told you, London's craziest gangster, Mr. Fish, we're not about condoning violence, glamorising crime or drugs. We're merely here to show you that everybody's got a story to tell. Yeah, they might be in different shapes and forms, but they're all stories, and they hurt. Do you know what I mean? And it can hurt you, and that's why I love people like Charlie here, because he's honest and down to earth. A lot of people, me, I'm a little bit different because, as I said, there are rules: love nothing, buy nothing, have nothing. That's it. So for me, I march, and also my friends and my family. So that's a different game. But it's so great to get someone who's real and honest and done that amount of bird. So Charlie, so you get out now. You've done 14 years. You've been released. Educate. What happened? Where'd you go back to?
Well,
did you have to, stop. Did you have to go to a hostel or did you go back?
Yeah, well, I was in a hostel in York. It was supposed to be for 6 months.
Stop. Why York? I thought you'd be near closer to home.
No, because there's only 3 pipe hostels in the whole of England that take outside referrals.
Can you please explain? Because this is new to me, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know this much. Can you please what a pipe?
Right. So a pipe stands for psychological improvised planned environment.
Okay.
So you're even though I was in a hostel, they do it in jail, and in jail it's you're on a wing where you're dealing with psychology, so they get to know the ins and outs, like what makes you tick, so they can go and represent you on a parole board.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's like a really in-depth thing. So when I went there, the whole thing about a pipe hostel was support.
Okay.
For like after support for getting out.
Yeah.
You know, but I didn't need that. Like they kept mentioning about being on the PD pathway, which is like the split personality sort of pathway. And I'm like, but I'm not on that. So I didn't even fit the criteria.
Okay.
The parole board had to order them to accept me in the end.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And when I got there, when I found out about that, I wasn't even on the PD pathway and that, I was like, so what am I doing here? And I kicked up a bit of fuss, like, hang on a minute, you changed the rules to get me here, fuck this, I don't need this.
Yeah. And
they see that I was on it and I only done 2 months.
Okay, so you've done 2 months and then you leave the hostel, and what happens with your reintegration back into society?
Yeah, I came back to London.